AEW legends Jerry Lynn and Mikey Whipwreck. Now, let's welcome your host, Mike Freland.
Hello, how are you? It is Tuesday night. It's time for Front Row Material and Future Stars Now. I am Mike Freland. As always, I'm joined by
the Ritt. I got to cut you off there.
You just kind of jumped in there.
Well, yeah,
I was gonna use a new tagline tonight.
Oh, a new one?
I was gonna use a new one.
Oh,
the incomparable Ritt, the debonair man of podcasting, the Ritt.
You didn't know that word debonair until we had Darius Carter on this.
I
podcast.
Didn't. I will admit I did not. But I've done my homework, and since then, I use the word proficiently.
Oh, I thank you, and congratulations for learning a new word.
I know. Hey, I teach language arts. I should know some of these words. But anyway, how are you, buddy?
Not bad. I'm busy as heck because, good Lord, this week coming up, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But, man, it's a doozy.
It is a doozy.
But
it's a biggie.
This is now. We have tonight one of the hottest indie wrestlers in the Midwest.
Yes.
This man is hyped. I'm not talking Mojo height. I'm talking above that. This man here is one of my personal favorites, Mr. Davey Bang.
Let's bring him in. Davey Bang, what's going on, man?
You didn't have to gas me up like that, man. We got to start over.
Hey! Speaking of gassing up, just for you, my man.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh!
Got one on you?
I've never had one ever.
Really? Which one is that?
My daughter drinks these, and she said I should like the black cherry vanilla.
That one's not my favorite, but we'll let it pass.
Well, I'm hoping because.
So this is your first time.
First time ever.
We're gonna get this on the interview. First time.
I'm busting a cherry on the interview.
I was about to say he's popping a black cherry or whatever flavor that is.
I got Star Blast on me, but this is just for display. You can't really see it.
Not bad. Not bad.
You got to have Radical Skedaddle next. That's my favorite one.
Not bad. I'll have to put that on the to-do list. Wow.
It's got a kick to it, doesn't it?
Hey, if we was doing the panel tonight, I might be able to stay the whole time.
Yeah, you might be up late now. It's what time is it? It's 7 o'clock my time. You might be up till 1 a.m. now.
That's not good because you got to be at work at 6?
I just drink another one and just push through.
Exactly, you get it. You just drink it. Like that's
unbelievable. But there's so many things we'd like to get into you with it tonight, Danny and Davey. Gosh, you think I was drinking something? So tell us how you been. What's going on?
I've been all right. Just hanging around, just doing whatever shows I can do. We're still kind of in the pandemic, but the shows are starting to pop up again, which is nice to see. So yeah, I've just been doing these shows, just staying in shape, just training, just doing what I can right now.
So we've talked to a lot of different wrestlers, obviously, on the show, and they told us that, during the pandemic, it actually gave them time to really think about and maybe retool some things. Maybe go to the notebook and write some stuff down. Did you feel like it was kind of nice, heal yourself up for a while, and then obviously kind of tweak some things here and there?
Yeah, definitely. The time off definitely gave us time to rest up, mentally and physically. And then at first, when the pandemic started, our school actually had to shut down, because we kind of had no choice. But once we were back, because there were still really not that many shows left, it was just a lot of training. So I feel like not really having shows, but doing all this training made a lot of us better because it was just, every week just getting better and better. So that once the shows did come back, we were ready. And, those shows weren't taken for granted, obviously, because it was still like one show a month, maybe two. So we had to make the most out of those shows because there wasn't a lot of them still. Even now, there's still not really that many, but it's getting better.
So what was it like the first time you're hearing the crowd back after, almost a year?
It was honestly, it was weird. Like, it was like weird doing it again, I guess. It definitely wasn't a year, but it felt like a year. Even a couple months off still feel like a long time. So it was definitely like weird. Like, oh, I'm in front of a crowd again. This is something. This is what I used to do every weekend for COVID. So yeah, it was nice.
So what's it look like? This is a question I don't really ask a whole lot of people, but when you hit the gym, where you are training, what's your regimen? What is like, how do you do it? Do you just do a ton of extensive cardio, or do you like to make sure that you mix in obviously weights and cardio? Like, what is kind of your setup here? Do you have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday setup?
Yeah. So I mean, at training, we definitely do a lot of cardio, a lot of in-ring cardio to just keep our bodies in shape. We train like athletes for sure. Isaiah, Kylie, and Bryce love to kill us for sure, and Robert Anthony. We actually have 4 trainers. They really love to kill us in there. So, we're never not in shape there. And then as far as the gym goes, it's really just a lot of weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to focus on getting bigger and stronger right now. So I'm not really doing that much cardio outside of training.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that Vasquez and Ray and Benjamin, your different trainers. Kind of great that you segued right there. When it comes to trainers and those who are training you, how do you feel about that? I mean, are you somebody who takes feedback really well? Are you the type of person who takes things, okay, somebody gives me some feedback and then I go ahead and I do my own thing? Or how does that kind of work with the feedback from a trainer when they want to work with you on something?
I think you kind of have to mix it up a bit. Like, obviously I try to listen to my trainers, but I've also been told I'm very young and stubborn sometimes, which I've been trying to work on. But no, I definitely take in what they say and try to let that resonate into my matches more and see how I can incorporate what they've taught me. But then it also is like a mix of this is kind of what I want to do and who I am. So it's kind of both. I want to listen to my trainers, of course, but you also got to be yourself out there and kind of figure out who you are as a wrestler. Like they always tell us, don't wrestle how we want you to wrestle. Figure out what you do and your style and who you are out there. So it's a little bit of both.
When it comes to kind of finding your style, is there anybody that you looked at when you were growing up, or that you liked their particular style and you wanted to try to kind of maybe not use that, but maybe take a little piece here and there away?
Yeah, definitely. For the most part, like the smaller wrestlers, like Rey Mysterio, obviously was one of my favorites. He was one of the smallest guys, just doing what he does. He was actually who got me into wrestling. And then a lot of the other guys that were considered small, like Styles, Daniel Bryan, even Punk. As a kid, I really just like the small guys because I could relate. So. Just seeing them do what they do and being on TV and being considered small, that was kind of motivational for me to watch.
Well, so you brought up CM Punk, and I've got to know, what did you think of the return, the comeback?
Oh man, it was really surreal. I mean, he was out 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was weird seeing it. Like, I remember I was actually with August, and he told me CM Punk was back, and I didn't believe him until I went on Twitter, and it was just everywhere. And so yeah, it was crazy. I wish I could have been there. I actually had 2 chances to go there for free, but unfortunately, I had other commitments made already. So, but I watched it, and it was really cool to see for sure. So wrestling is definitely about to change a lot.
What would you say when it comes to your wrestling career, in your abilities? Maybe that's kind of a better word, that you feel like is your go-to that is your thing? You know what I mean? Like, of all of the things you do in your repertoire, what is the one thing that you feel like you do the best?
You mean like move wise in the ring?
Yeah, like when you're out there, I know there's a lot of different things that, you can do, but is there anything out there that you feel like, man, that is my bread and butter? That's what I can go to, and I hit it spot on.
I would definitely say like a lot of my more high flying moves and lucha moves for sure that I like to do. Kind of more athletic based moves because I'm not the biggest or the strongest, obviously. So I try to use my size, my advantage with speed and agility and just being faster than my opponent.
I swore you were going to go to my go-to is the bang.
Oh yeah, obviously. Obviously that's my go-to. I just meant move-wise. Like the bang helps me with those moves, but obviously the bang energy is my go-to.
Did you happen to listen to the Trevor Outlaw interview we had with him?
I didn't actually. I'm sure he said great things about me. Absolutely great things.
He said wonderful things. One thing that he did say is something about a petition that he was trying to get Bang as an illegal substance.
Oh my goodness.
Performance enhancer drug.
Performance enhancer drug. Wow. I can't say I'm surprised. Me and Trevor have been going at it for a while. The funny thing is he likes to talk a lot of shit, but I've beaten him twice. I've pinned him twice. So Trevor, if you listen to this, just keep that in mind. And we may have a match coming up soon. Can't say what it is yet, but yeah, me and Trevor, we're just real tight like that. We just.
Well, can you give me some thoughts on this picture I had found?
Oh, that's a classic. That's a classic. Seeing Trevor just on the ground, in pain, losing a match. I just love it.
Who did he take the pinfall from? I'm kind of curious.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh yeah, me.
Okay.
For the second time, I beat him at GCW, pinned him myself, and then I beat him here. So, Trevor, let's run it back. You like to talk all this shit, but my work speaks for itself. You got a microphone, but I got skills, so try to outwork me.
Ooh.
Wow. You got a microphone, but I got the skills. Man, I tell you what, I'm almost itching if Trevor was around. I would love to hear a retort.
I wish he would just storm in my apartment right now. So we get to go out.
When it comes to people like Trevor Outlaw, is there any people that you feel like you have really good chemistry with, or you feel like you click, you gel really well? Is there anybody you felt like that stands kind of above and beyond everybody else you've been with?
I would say Project Monix.
Nice.
We had a match with each other probably about a year and a half ago before the pandemic, and it went really well. And he was, he was already way above me, obviously, like in the ring wise, he was here and I was here, but I felt like we gelled really well in that match. And that was a match I'd been wanting to have for a while because, Pat helped me kind of get into wrestling more, like with the traveling and getting on shows. He helped me a lot with that. So he was somebody I kind of really looked up to and wanted to work with and just learn and get that experience from. And I felt like we had a really good match. I was really nervous, but I thought it went pretty well. I think if we wrestle now, it'd be a lot better.
So it's interesting you say that. So kind of dovetailing my next question into that, you're talking to a lot of different people, getting a lot of different experiences, being booked on other shows. Did you find that was a difficult thing, obviously starting to get yourself booked, or was that something that just kind of, this kind of flowed, this phone call then happened, then this happened, or was it a little more trickier than we think?
It's definitely pretty tricky. Because it's not like you can just slide onto a show and ask to be on. You got to work there and you got to pay your dues to get there. So it's definitely not easy, and you have to present yourself in a way that makes promoters want to book you. And so yeah, it's definitely a complicated game to play. It kind of feels like applying for a job, honestly, like trying to get on a show.
I believe it.
So when you came up with your character, the gimmick, what went through your thought process to make yourself different from everything else that's out there?
I don't know. I just wanted to somehow be different than other wrestlers, I guess. I wanted to have like something about me that was kind of different than everyone else and stand out a bit. So yeah, I just, I was just drinking Bang in the car one day, and I was like, what if I did this? And yeah, it just worked. I was listening to Old Town Road while drinking a Bang, and I was like, oh, got it.
Hey, it worked for Hogan for how many years? So,
Yeah.
So when it comes to, we talked about, obviously clicking with certain people, and obviously you got 3 great trainers, if not even more, that you've worked with. Is there anybody who you've talked to, either backstage or maybe on the road, who's given you some really good advice? Anybody who's talked to you, said, hey, you know what? I like what you're doing. Here's something to think about. Has anybody had any of those moments with you?
Yeah, I've had a few of those, for sure. Actually, I think one of those is honestly Simon Grimm. We were just on a couple shows together last weekend. I did a seminar with him, and just in those couple of days, I learned a lot from him. So he was definitely somebody that I would want to work. He would probably kill me, but at least I'd learn.
As we talk about wrestling and all the things that go into it, and it's so much more than just athleticism. I mean, there's the entertainment aspect of it as well. There's a showmanship. There's connecting with the fans. What would you say was probably, outside of just the physicality, the most challenging thing to put into your repertoire as far as being kind of the complete package in wrestling?
I would say for me, probably the most challenging thing is being loud out there, and just having more crowd interaction. I felt like that was a struggle for me at first, listening to them and taking it in and trying to play to what the crowd wants from you. That was probably a bit of a challenge for me at first. I still kind of challenge with it, but I'm better at it now. Yeah, I would say just kind of not just being a wrestler out there, but also an entertainer, and like figuring out what people want out of you and just trying to give them the best experience that you can.
Now, obviously, being in the Chicago area, there's so many different promotions out there. What are some promotions that you've had a chance, obviously, to work with outside of Zello? Any other promotions you've had a chance to be on some shows with?
Yeah, so a couple outside of Chicago, like Glory Pro in St. Louis. I got to work with Journey Pro all the way by Kansas City a little over a year ago. That was really fun. That was when we had a Zello versus Journey Pro, so that was a really cool experience. And then some promotions in Minnesota, like AWF.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool out there. Very cold in Minnesota. Yeah, just I'm still trying to get more promotions out there, but yeah, there's definitely some good ones outside of Chicago.
A lot of people talk about, signing with a major promotion, but there's a lot of people who actually enjoy being on the independents because they can make their own schedule. They can make really good money on some of these shows. Are you the type of person who would like to kind of continue to get your feet wet and experience some other areas, or are you wanting to find one central place long-term and kind of make it your home?
I just kind of want to go with whatever happens. I'm not really stuck to either option. I just kind of want to go with the flow and see kind of what happens throughout time. So yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to just wrestle and just keep getting better and just be on as many shows as I can.
So obviously, you had to get the bug somehow. You mentioned Rey Mysterio earlier on, and some of the smaller guys, the high flyers. Any chance you got to meet any of the people that you really looked up to and was able to ask them any questions, any moments like that?
No, I don't think so. I never got to meet Rey Mysterio or Daniel Bryan or Styles. Actually, another guy I forgot to mention was Leo Rush.
Yes.
I watched a lot of him before I started getting into wrestling, and he was another guy I looked up to just because it was like another he's another small guy doing amazing things out there. So I watched a lot of him. I've gotten to be on a couple of shows with him, but I don't think I've ever gotten to sit down with him and talk to him. Unfortunately, I would love to if I can, but no, I don't think haven't really gotten to speak to a lot of people that actually got me into wrestling. So hopefully I can change that.
Well, a lot of people sit there and say that, a great locker room makes a great show. Have you ever been in a locker room that, man, it was just everybody was all, hey, how you doing? Great feel, great sense for everybody in the locker room?
Yeah, honestly, most of the locker rooms I'm in are really cool. I haven't really had a bad locker room experience. Definitely the locker rooms at Freelance and Underground are really really close. It feels like we're kind of like a family there. Nobody's really like isolated. Everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's just trying to catch up and get to know one another. So yeah, I would definitely say like a lot of shows I'm on have good locker rooms. Even the Warrior one too. We have a really nice locker room there. Everybody's friendly, and even a lot of like the big stars you see, like you see them on TV and you're like, oh, they're big and scary, but you see them in the locker room and they're just they're cool people, and they're just regular people just like everyone else. So yeah, I've had mostly positive experiences.
Now, I see that you had spent some time with Lucha Libre Total in Chicago. Now, what experience was that like? And I know that some people are big fans of that promotion. So what was it like working with them?
It was definitely different than a lot of the other shows that I've done. It was that was the first time I think in June that I worked there. I haven't had the chance to go back, but the crowd is really they're really hype out there. So that's what I like to see. They just appreciate like a lot of the Lucha Libre and a lot of just they like the comedy acts too. Like they don't want to just see like the cool wrestling. They want to see just like funny stuff and just people being stupid. So definitely a good crowd there. Different crowd than some other places that I'm used to.
Who are some people you think when it comes to more of the haha comedy that, it really does appeal to a lot of people? You have Orange Cassidy is one, who went through Shakara, and, obviously he does his shtick. Is there anybody else that you look at and you think, man, they really are good at the humor and the comedy side?
Yeah, I would say Trevor, because he always looks stupid out there. He's not a comedy act, but every time I watch him, I laugh. So he's a comedy act to me because he's trash.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm calling him out here.
It sounds like man, like you really want to give him your 2 cents right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm tired of all this trash talk from him. So I need him to put his money where his mouth is.
He does open his mouth and run it quite a bit, and he definitely tried to even put me in my place. And I've been doing this show for 3 years, and he was just boom, boom, boom. Ritt, I mean, you saw it live.
He didn't try. He put you in your place.
Well,
Davey,
I was being a nice, gracious host.
Oh,
Freeland got up. He went to the kitchen to make the man some cookies. Like that's how much you put him in his place.
I didn't ship him till 2 days afterwards because I made him wait. But
I can't say I'm surprised. He's something else. Yeah, he has this thing he likes to say. I don't know if he said it on here before, but he says, "I don't run spots. I run my mouth." I don't know if you've ever heard him say that, but I just find that funny because running your mouth doesn't win matches, Trevor. And
wow,
clearly you're an example of that. So
I mean, we're going to have to jump back into this here, but what exactly started it? I mean, I know the Ritz said that he was a little instigator here, but where does all the beef and the heat really, truly originate with the two of you?
To be honest, I don't even know. He just started hating me. I don't know. Maybe it was after the Collective when he famously shot himself in the balls. I don't know.
Wait.
You can't just glaze past that. He shot himself in the balls?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, my God.
I have not seen that at all, and I feel like that would be something I would remember. Wow.
Oh, you definitely. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it because that was just him just making himself look like an idiot as usual. But yeah, if you get a chance, just I don't know how you would find it, but just go on Twitter, go to Trevor, maybe scroll back far enough. But yeah, after he did that to himself, we were all just kind of making fun of him for that, and maybe that's where his anger started. I don't know. I really can't pinpoint when it was. I just know he just started hating me, and then it just went back and forth, and then we just started having matches with each other, which made us hate each other even more. And so yeah, now here's where we are.
It's got to be fun though to kind of have a rivalry with somebody. I mean, it kind of pushes both people. With Trevor, would you? And I'm going to ask you to make a compliment to him. Is there anybody else who
I gotta go? I can't. I gotta go. I think my food's ready.
Is there anybody who you would say, from a trash talking perspective, you excluded, is really, really good, that can just eviscerate an opponent just like that?
Like besides Trevor?
Yeah.
MJF for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, no brainer. Who else? Who else would I say? The GPA for sure. Every time he grabs the mic, you just want to just shut up. in a good way. He's very good at what he does. He's very good at trash talking, and that's his stick.
With training, do they also go into promos, or is that something, working on promos in going over what to say and kind of how to start delivering stuff like that? Do they go into that, or is that something that really just kind of comes out of your own personality?
We don't really go too into that. I kind of wish we did a little bit, because I think it would kind of get us out of our comfort zone. Because I know me personally, I'm terrible at promos. I'm not good at talking the way like Trevor is. There's a compliment for Trevor. You get your one compliment, Trevor. You're good at talking. So there, 1 for 1. He's not getting another one. Yeah, I'm not. I'll admit I'm definitely not the best at promos at all. So I kind of wish we did that a little bit more, just so we could kind of get better and just make ourselves more of a all around wrestler, because it's not just the wrestling. We gotta have things like that, like the promos and the talking for sure.
When it comes to not only a gimmick, but obviously, working shows and whatnot, a big aspect of any wrestler is their gear. So how did you decide on what you were going to wear? How did you decide on, what your physical appearance was going to look like? Kind of take us through that.
Well, I definitely wanted my gear to stand out more. So, I kind of just took the gimmick and just made it into that. But I changed it enough so I don't get sued, hopefully. Because it's got like the Bang logo, but it's a D for Davey. So
right.
Hopefully it's different enough that I can't get sued. I don't know. I haven't gotten an email yet.
Hey, was it Vanilla Ice didn't get sued because what he added one extra note? So you added an extra letter, so you're good.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right. If you don't hear from me for a while, you know why.
I'm guessing your only phone call will not be going to Trevor Outlaw.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And kind of going around here in your career, as we look at some stuff, also we spent some time in GCW. Obviously, GCW has been in the news most recently. You got a lot of crazy matches that happen in GCW. What would you say appealed to you the most about working in GCW?
Well, so the show that we did was the Fight Forever 24-hour show. That's the only time I've worked for GCW so far. But I would definitely say the locker room there was definitely cool and more laid back than what I expected. I don't know. It was also 4 a.m. or I think it was 3 a.m. I don't even remember. We had to be there so early that I don't even know what I did. It was kind of just like we were there, but not really there because we were just so tired. But yeah, GCW was definitely a nice place to get on the bucket list. Hopefully we can get more of those in the future. Possibly one coming up. You never know.
So with GCW, it's a little different when it comes to the way they do things. Are you into like hardcore wrestling? Are you into things that are a little bit more on the crazy side, or are you
like deathmatch or just kind of?
yeah, like deathmatch? Would that be something, any type of violent stuff that you would be into, or would you say, you know what, that's just not my thing?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching it for sure. I don't know how often I could do it, but I mean, if I were to be in a death match with somebody, it would have to be Trevor, just cause.
Oh man, we keep coming back to Mr. Trevor coming with the death match. You think it would be? Do you think a death match with Trevor Outlaw would be something that would be just the icing on the cake? Get him back in the ring, maybe shut him up just a little bit more, but you can use a little bit more brutality, and it is all legal.
Yeah, definitely. He wouldn't be able to handle it. He can't keep up.
Wow.
I know I keep bringing up Trevor, but it's just I have to because I know he talks just as much trash about me. So I can't just let all that trash talking slide. I have to bring it back.
So,
I was gonna say, if you get a chance, you got to watch the video, the interview. You can listen to it, you can watch it. It's probably about the 40-minute mark. We start talking about you,
and then he goes probably to like an hour and a half.
It ended up being a 6-hour podcast interview.
yeah, he was fanboying. I mean, he was like,
how long?
Like 6 hours,
something like that. Yeah.
Always how? There's no way.
What, you saying he can't talk for 6 hours?
Wait, but he went on for 6 hours?
Yeah, just continually.
The man's got the gift of gab. Me and the Ritt barely got a word in.
Wow, I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know how he knows that many words, but
wow, Trevor, poor Trevor. What do you think Trevor's doing right now?
Right now, he's probably thinking about his next promo. Maybe just cowering in fear in a corner about having to wrestle me. I don't know.
When it comes to getting inside people's heads, are you the type of person that just wants to prove it in the ring and you're a man of very few words, or is there ever a time when you just want to let it loose and just rip on somebody, maybe on a promo, maybe in the ring, something to that nature?
I'm more of a kind of just prove them in the ring. Like I said before, I'm not like the best at the promos and the microphone skills, so I kind of like to just do what I'm better at and just prove it in the ring just by winning.
So obviously, when you're not training and you're not wrestling, what does Davey Bang enjoy doing when it comes to relaxing?
Oh, I don't relax. I don't know what that word is.
You don't like to relax?
No, I don't relax. Bang Energy doesn't let me. I can't.
It doesn't. I'm over here fidgeting.
Yeah, except on car trips. I always seem to fall asleep. You can ask August about that one. Fellow Bang bro. I'm always falling asleep in the car when we drive together. So I think that's the only time. Every other time I'm just going. There's no moment of relaxation for me.
90% of a booking is the road trip.
Yeah.
You got any great stories? A great road trip that comes to your mind?
Any great road trip? Honestly, there's so many good ones I can't even really pinpoint them. I did a lot of road trips with Pat when I was first starting out. Those were really fun. We would just talk back and forth. I learned a lot from him on those, but we would also just talk a lot of shit and just kind of just be dudes, I guess. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the ones I do with other freelance students are fun too. We always find something to just entertain ourselves about because you kind of have to, because you're in a car. Like, what else are you gonna do? So yeah, road trips are actually kind of fun. I mean, they suck sometimes, especially when it's like really far, but we just find a way to have fun with it somehow.
Have you ever had one of those horror stories, on the road?
Like what? Like crashing or something?
Oh, flat tire, car breaks down. You lose all your money. Your dog ate your, gear. Anything stupid.
Not that I can think of, but I do remember August getting his gear stolen the day before we had a road trip. So I think that like the next day he had to like scramble and find some temporary gear or something. It was at Logan Square, of course. Yeah, that's all I can really think of. I don't think I've had any. Yeah, I haven't really had any horror stories yet. But now you changed me, so now next week I'm probably gonna crash.
well, one of my favorite ones is the one that Jerry Lynn keeps bringing up every now and then. The one where remember Freeland, he sits there and says he came back to the hotel, and the front desk person looked at him and said, "Get out."
Yes,
just kicked him out because of his roommate. Like he did it, he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, he was rooming with somebody. I want to say it was from the ECW crew, and he left the room, went to get a bite to eat, came back, and they got kicked out. He had nothing to do with it. Wasn't even there for the alleged party. But you know what? Guilty by association.
Wow, that's something. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us. If I were to get kicked out of a hotel, it'd probably be because of Trevor, because he wouldn't stop talking. But yeah. Nothing hasn't crazy happened yet.
So, when it comes to wrestling and obviously working on different shows, I know you don't want to show preferential treatment to any specific place, but you mentioned Logan Square Auditorium a few moments ago. Our good friends at AAW up in there in Chicago as well. Love those guys. Danny Daniels, Trent Seberry, just good partners of ours. You ever got a chance or ever had any interest of maybe working with AAW?
Yeah, I've definitely had some interest. Haven't gotten the opportunity to work there yet, but it's definitely a place that I would love to scratch off and kind of showcase my talents there for sure. I've been to a few of their shows as a fan and as a worker, and definitely a place I would want to kind of dip my toes in and see what I can do.
We often see, especially with AEW Dark and Elevation, there's a ton of people that get a lot of exposure on AEW TV, which I think personally is really awesome, from all different promotions, from all different parts of the country. Any chance, I'm sure something like that would pique your interest to get a chance to step in there?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to do a match there, like a dark match or Elevation. I see a lot of people on there, a lot of people I know getting on there and getting to showcase their talents and show everybody what they can do. So I would definitely love to go test the waters there and get that exposure over there. That's definitely one of my goals. I don't know if they would let me bring the Bang, though. I don't know.
Obviously one of your trainers, you got any good training stories? I mean, obviously you had mentioned them before, like Kylie Ray, anything like that, anything that's ever been, any good advice, anything that Kylie might've mentioned to you, or because obviously she's been really, really successful in wrestling. So what was your interactions experience working with her?
Working with her is great. She loves to kill us in practice on conditioning. So, yeah, there's that. But I would say the best advice I've gotten from her is kind of just be yourself out there and don't let anybody tell you, like, what to do with yourself. Like, just figure that out on your own and just amp that times 1,000,
Yeah, a couple times we've talked to different wrestlers who they seem to get that same piece of advice: be yourself, because a lot of times everybody sees different people doing different things, and then you don't want to become a 2.0 version of somebody else. Yeah. Borrowing some concepts from people is one thing. Obviously, doing a complete repertoire of somebody else is something completely different. How would you describe Mr. Outlaw? Would you say that he's original himself, or would you say he's kind of a ripoff?
Honestly, I don't think he's actually a ripoff. I mean, I made some comparisons to him and like MJF, and that pisses him off. But I would say he's his own character for sure. Like he finds his own way to do what he does. Man, I just gave him another compliment.
You did give him another compliment. Look at that.
That's compliment number 2. Hey, just to let you know, Freeland is on his payroll. He's trying to set you up for compliments.
I'm kind of a Trevor Outlaw guy. I just kind of like the guy. He's
All
not that terrible.
How do I leave the studio? No, yeah, but I would definitely say, I mean, he's his own character. He doesn't copy off of people. You know, he definitely does his own promos in his own way that stands out. He definitely stands out in his matches with his mouth, like we've said before. But yeah, that's just what he does. I don't know. I still don't like the guy. I think he's stuck in the ring, but yeah, his wrestling's okay.
So I would assume that if you had an opportunity, you would never ask for an autograph.
No, I would ask for it and then rip it up in front of him.
I was just gonna say probably take it and then cast it aside.
Yeah, not even to the side, like right in front of him. Like,
oh, you would just completely shred it right in his face.
Yeah, I would say it's for a fan too. I wouldn't say it's for me.
So Davey, Freland usually has a list of questions that he loves to ask about the alleged cheat day.
Alleged cheat day, I don't know.
I'm gonna let Freland take over right here.
So obviously wrestlers got to stay in shape, right? And you got to train, you got to watch your carbs, you got to watch all your intake and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is your cheat day, meaning if you even do a cheat day, I mean, you're in phenomenal shape. You may not even do that. But if you were to have a cheat day and money was no option and you could be taken anywhere, any restaurant, any place, what would you splurge on? How much and why?
That's a hard one. Honestly, you could just take me to any fast food restaurant. I don't really care. Preferably Wendy's. I would say Wendy's is my favorite one. I always get the Frosty, and I get the bacon double cheeseburger. I think
the double baconator.
Yeah, the baconator, and then
a number one.
Oh my God, he's even got it memorized.
I don't know how I forgot that, but yeah, I would usually on a cheat day, I would just go there and then also get a Frosty because those are just good, and they're usually not out like McDonald's. So.
Who's fun to maybe sit around and have some Cokes, some Coca-Colas with, and maybe a few sandwiches late at night with? Is there anybody that's just a lot of fun just to spend some time with and just shoot the shit and whatnot?
Yeah, I would say Jacob Dean was definitely a good one to just talk shit with. We call him Jacob the Wise because he's got a brain that none of us can fathom. He's a very interesting guy. August, because he's just really funny, and August is also really scary. And then Coda Hernandez is really fun to hang out with. Also very scary. Wouldn't mess with him. Pretty much a lot of my fellow freelance guys, I just like to sit down and talk to. Another guy I like talking with is Cole Radrick. He's really
nice.
Fun. Yeah, him and JJ Garrett are fun to just sit down and shoot with. And they smoke too, but I don't smoke, so I'm kind of the boring one in the group.
Nothing wrong with that. To each their own. Kind of going down here on your career, I think this is really cool because we're big fans. And hopefully we'll get a chance to work with them. Warrior Wrestling, which is in Chicago as well. Great promotion. Actually, interestingly enough, owned and operated by a high school principal. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that. But he did a fundraiser for the school. All of a sudden, things got taken off. And he's in the education world like myself, but he's also in the wrestling industry. What was your experiences working with Warrior Wrestling?
Oh, Warrior's great. Steve's one of the nicest guys out there, honestly. I respect what he's doing. He's running shows, really good shows. And then also, for him to be a principal and being able to do both sides of those is really impressive. And then he also donates the money to college fundraisers and stuff like that. So, it's a really, it's a very honest and notable promotion to be at and to watch, honestly, because they also put on great matches. And the shows are just very professional, and as a fan, it's just a great, it's definitely a great show to be at if you're in the Chicago area.
No, I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, the prices are great. The matches are great. And they had a summer series, I believe, where you could buy, so many events that you could go to, and they had spread it out on the football field, which I thought was super cool to be able to do that. And on a great summer night, what's more fun than catching some wrestling?
Yeah, I remember the first show last August. I think they didn't have like 500 or 600 people, and because of the football field, they were able to do that and still be safe with it. And I think that was the largest crowd or the largest independent wrestling crowd since before COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So that was really cool to see, and they were able to do it and still follow the COVID guidelines. So that was really nice.
You'd actually spent some time in Black Label Pro, which is actually not too far from my neck of the woods. Really, really great promotion. Thoughts on Black Label, and if there's any chance we can see you come back in this area again?
Oh yeah, definitely want to be back there. Black Label's another great promotion, another honest promoter. Crowds there are great. They have a lot of the freelance crowds at Black Label, so it's kind of they're kind of connected a little bit. Freelance and Black Label, they use each other's guys kind of, and they have the same kind of fan base a little bit. So Black Label is another great promotion. It's great to see them coming back. It's been so long without them.
It's so neat to be able to work with different people, and we know when promotions, cross platforms, and you get to see a lot of the same people, and you get to start to work out a repertoire with other people and start to become super comfortable. Would you feel like that's really the only way to really get your feet wet, is to really spend time in the indies and learn your craft? Because at that point in time, you could work for, 20 some odd promotions in 1 month, and that's invaluable experience.
Yeah, I would definitely say you kind of have to just jump in the cold water and just see what you can do and be in those uncomfortable situations to get better, because you definitely don't get better when you're comfortable. So, yeah, I would say I like to just kind of how do I put it? Just test and see what I can do, and not really be comfortable, because I feel like I get better when I'm more on edge and more nervous about whatever I'm doing. So, yeah, it's just I like going from promotion to promotion personally, just because it's like a lot of just back and forth and really getting to learn my craft.
Now, we know obviously injuries and wrestling go together like peanut butter and jelly. It's one of those things that, unfortunately, it's a nature of the beast, and they're going to happen, and some are more severe than others. How have you done so far as the injury bug? Has it bitten you quite a bit? Would you say you've been fairly lucky so far? What's your take on injuries and battling through and still playing hurt?
Luckily, I've been able to avoid them so far, but I'm sure, it's going to happen. It's like you said, it's just inevitable. But so far, I've been pretty injury-free. Just, the pain and soreness is definitely something you deal with every day. But I got Bang Energy to help with that.